Here to help us just say no this holiday season is Karlyn Percil. We need you. Thank you for showing up in this space. So let's start by explaining sort of why saying yes to things that we don't want to do can be harmful, especially around this time of year.
Oh, absolutely. And T, I'm right there with you as a recovering people pleaser.
It's hard.
Right? We're all in there. And when we say yes to things we don't want to say yes to, we end up depleting our self-trust bank account, and we actually increase our resentment and self-betrayal. And that sets us off on the wrong tone when it comes to starting off the new year, because now you're burnt out and you're practicing saying yes to things you don't want to say yes to. So the key is being aware of your no, and being aware that a lot of us didn't have a no role model growing up. So when it comes to holiday events, when it comes to a lot of the invitations coming, just pay attention to what are you saying yes to, and most importantly, remember that your zone of discomfort, that's an opportunity for you to tap into that. When we say no, we're moving away from our comfort zone and we're going into our stretch zone. And that stretch zone is where we learn to sit with our guilt, sit with our fear. And once we increase that, we get an opportunity for us to build our self-trust and to show up more powerfully for ourselves and for the people in our lives.
I often ask myself, like, how many times do I have to hit my head against the same wall before I get it? Because I get to a point where I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. And then I start getting into, oh, yeah, I could do that. It's almost like delusional. I think, no, I can do it. I actually have time to do this, and I should do it. And then when it comes around to doing it, now I'm resentful because I don't have the time, and I don't have the resources that I thought I had. So it's a constant, I think, exercising of the muscle, the no muscle. You've got to keep doing it, right? During the holidays, what are things we should give ourselves permission to just say no to?
The first thing is to stop betraying yourself. Start right there. How can I say more yeses by saying no? So holiday events, hosting events, cooking, old traditions that don't align with who you are becoming. A lot of us met our best selves during COVID. So now we have new boundaries that we want to practice. And also boundary time with family and with friends. Don't be shy about setting up those boundaries and things that aren't a priority. It's time for us to look at those unconscious obligations and give ourselves a yes back by saying no to something that doesn't align with who we are becoming.
Because really, when you say yes to something you don't really want to do, you're not doing yourself a favor or that person.
Exactly.
You know, like when you're doing it with not a good heart, like I hate being in those situations. Now I'm not doing it with a good heart. I'm doing it out of obligation, and that's not cool. So let's get into the hard stuff. How can we actually start to say no? What do we need to do?
And when we say that, T, you also don't give people an opportunity to get to know you. Because now they're knowing, you know, the T who's people-pleasing and not your true self. So the first is to get clear on your life goal and what are you saying yes to. The more we get clear on saying yes to, whether it's joy or setting your family values, then you get clarity. It becomes easier for you to say a no. And give yourself permission to work up to a no. Sometimes we assume that, well, I should know how to say no, the guilt shouldn't be there. You didn't always have that being modeled for you. So your no track record is actually low. So give yourself permission to work up to it. And the other thing that I would say is write out your reasons. I find it so helpful when I write out, okay, more time for rest, more time for just sitting and understanding, you know, that emotional capacity that I have. And let's get to practice that no is a complete sentence as well. And if you're receiving a lot of holiday invitations and you don't know what to do, remember that an invitation is a love offering. So give yourself an opportunity to sincerely thank that person for thinking about you and RSVP quickly. Because we know with holiday functions, you know, people are thinking of head counts for alcohol, for food, for drinks, whatever it might be. So give yourself permission. The second thing that I would say, remember that when we say no to something, we actually end up saying yes to ourselves, or we're saying yes to something that really matters. And the third thing that I would say is live your boundaries out loud. If you're COVID cautious, you're not up for family gatherings or holiday gatherings, say no, communicate that. And another thing that I like doing in terms of increasing my yeses is sending an email beforehand. Communicate with your loved ones and your friends and say, hey, this holiday season, I'm really COVID cautious, or I'm really feeling like spending time alone, or really just doing smaller family, you know, activities. We really want to keep it small. Let people know. When we do that, it's an opportunity for us to teach people how to love us, and we also teach people how to set boundaries with us as well.
I hope everyone recorded that if you're watching at home, because there were so many nuggets in that. First of all, this whole idea of practicing who you need to be.
Yes.
You have to practice. You don't just wake up on a Wednesday morning and be like, I'm saying no to everybody. No, give yourself room to practice. And also the whole idea of RSVPing quickly. Because I go run and hide. So I get overwhelmed. I see the list of things and I'm like, oh, I'm just not going to answer anybody. That doesn't help anyone. If I know it's a no and you know it's a no, you can feel it in your body.
Honor that first no.
Honor it.
Also, no is a redirection to a yes.
Yeah.
But a yes that is aligned with you and your mental health.
Yes.
And I often remind folks, what's better? Do you want to sit with the discomfort of saying no and expanding or increasing your emotional intelligence and boundaries and capacity? Or do you want to go back into that declining around your mental health and being uncomfortable and, of course, resenting others? So, again, giving yourself permission to honor that first no. No is a complete sentence. Can I hear you say it? Let's practice.
No. And one thing I'm always saying to myself these days is say less.
Say less.
Say less.
Yes.
Because actually you don't owe anyone any explanations. And you don't have to say your child is ill or you need to stay home for X, Y, Z. Like, just no, I can't do it.
And that's
just
it.
No.
That's it.
Or
and
maybe I just don't want to.
And put it somewhere you can see it. When you write your list of why you're saying no and what matters to you, put it somewhere you can see it, because we will forget. And again, if you have a low no track record, then when the brain is going to look for that time that you bravely stepped up, you won't have a memory around that.
That's right.
So work up to that no, and no is a complete sentence.
I love it. So our therapy session is now over, everyone. I feel like I just let everyone listen to my therapy session. Kar, thank you so much. Great insight as always.